My name is Tom Gabriel Warrior, formerly of Hellhammer and Celtic Frost, now with Triptykon, and we're at Bloodstock. It has never been difficult for me to keep the fire burning for music. I've been a music lover ever since I was a kid. I grew up in a very musical household before it all fell apart, and I carried that with me for my entire life. I'm still passionate about music. What is difficult, but always has been difficult, is creating good music yourself. It's inherently difficult to create a good album, and it was like that in 1982, and it's like that in 2014. So in effect, nothing has changed. My personal creative process hasn't changed at all, because I draw my music from my personal emotions and the things I lived through, and it's always been like that. If anything, it's more like that now, because when I was young, of course, I didn't have so much life to draw from. Of course, everything else around it has changed. The entire production process and studios and everything have changed dramatically. But for me personally, I keep to the same principles, the same manner of procedure as I've always have. That's the only way I can work with. It's always a two-sided sword, and I've been criticized for being too open or being too dramatic, and I agree, I probably have been. But I force nobody to listen to music. If you think it's crap, and if you think my emotions do not touch yours, then you're not forced to listen to my output. Yes, of course. When you delve so deep in your personal emotions, you sometimes probably lose oversight how far you should go. At the same time, sometimes you probably don't go too far. It's always a thing of intuition. And it's not a determined science. You do it to the best of your knowledge, to the best of your capabilities, and you hope somebody will understand. If they don't, I guess that's just as fine as if they do. It's amazing if fans come to you and profess how much they can connect to something that you've written. And your question as to how to deal with it, it's not so abstract to me, because I'm also a music fan. I'm also a metal fan, a hard rock fan, and there used to be a time when I wasn't a musician and when I felt the same about other people's music, and sometimes I got the chance to tell them. So I think I do understand both sides. I'm still deeply taken by certain music that's been released. I'm not just exclusively a musician myself. I wasn't cocky enough at the time to really think that I would make it, that I would achieve making records all my life. But the album that made me want to try it was certainly Volume 4 by Black Sabbath, to which I learned to play guitar, and which I still think is the darkest Black Sabbath album. And the final kick was, of course, Venom's first album, Welcome to Hell. That's really when it drove me to try it myself. But even then, I knew my limits, and I knew how difficult it would be, so I never really thought I could do it. As a matter of fact, it still puzzles my mind that I'm here 32 years later.